Hello everyone, welcome. You've always seen me interviewing various actors, singers working on screen. But today here with me is someone who is always behind the scene, working off screen, the one who is handling everything in Chandigarh. Yes, I'm talking about the one who is handling everything so good, UT advisor IAS Manoj Parida. Hello sir, welcome. First of all, I want to thank that you are doing so commendable job in Chandigarh and handling everything in COVID-19 situation, and the recovery rate is so high in Chandigarh.
It is the highest in the country. Aaj apne.
Okay, so you're happy.
I'm very happy, extremely happy.
I also want to know that not just as an advisor, but also as an admirer of Chandigarh, what do you like the most in the city beautiful?
The best thing is the planned nature of the city. The city is beautifully planned by the French architect Le Corbusier, and 40% of the city is forest area, green area. Nowhere in the country you get a capital city where almost half is a forest. Not ordinary forest, reserve forest, parks. There are 2 sanctuaries also. And this beautiful Sukhna lake which is located here. So climate wise, this is the best. Space wise, planning wise, roads, buildings are beautiful architecture, superb really. You see the secretariat, you see the High Court building, you see the Capital Complex, fabulous.
Yes.
And apart from that, the city, its people. People are fun-loving, health conscious, highly literate, they have a good standard of living, and there is no feeling of insider, outsider. Everybody is educated. It's like a small island. It is like a foreign pocket in a continent. That's sort of the thing.
Okay, so basically you feel like you're living on an island.
Yes, it's a paradise.
And what I love most is that you also love the people of Chandigarh.
Yeah, these people particularly, you see, they are so responsive, so participating, and law-abiding also.
Yeah.
And best part is, you see, in the morning there will be lots of people of all ages, young people, old people, senior citizens, all going for jogging in the best of dresses. And you see the bars, the restaurants, they're full, they're crowded. They love life. That is the best part of it. Positivity, that smell, that sense, that spirit, you get it here.
That's really nice. Even I feel that. I also feel so good, and that's the I think the that's the beauty of Chandigarh. Na? So you came here in Chandigarh in December 2018. Now it's more than a year, and your job is like you get transferred after some years. How you manage the different state all together with the different statistics?
You see, first of all, we are trained to do that. How do you start a career? We start a career by being a sub-divisional officer, SDM, collector, deputy secretary, chief secretary. So initial training is at a young age you manage a subdivision which normally will have a Chandigarh size population.
Okay.
You will like.
Okay.
So we are used to that. And as in a Union Territory cadre, you will be transferred to 5-6 different places in different parts of the country, and they have different cultures altogether. You will have a tribal culture of Arunachal. You will have a metropolitan culture of Delhi. You will have an ex-Portuguese culture in Goa. So all this you have to combine, learn, and sort of manage. We are trained to do that. It is possible to do that, and with experience one learns to handle.
Yeah, I totally get that because, and especially in this COVID-19 situation, it becomes really, challenging as well. So with COVID-19, we know that everything was so normal, but altogether everything changed with COVID-19. Everything was so normal. Common people, they had to face some challenges during the lockdown. But I think the most challenging part was yours, where you had to handle everything during lockdown, which was even new to you, not just to the common people, but very new to you. So what was the biggest challenge during this lockdown?
You see, the scientists said, the doctors said, the transmission could be just through physical contact. There has to be this 2 gaz ki duri and all. And we had to close down markets. We had to close down the apni mandis, the wholesale markets. Now, how do you ensure that the essential commodities reach the doorsteps when the markets are closed? And particularly when I use my government officials for doing that, they can be a carrier of infection. How do you manage that supply chain where people don't have to come out, the goods will reach there? This was a major challenge. Fortunately, if you remember, our buses were empty.
Yeah.
We had cancelled our transport service. So we use our idle government buses to carry the vegetables to doorsteps and deliver it there at reasonable rates. This was a big challenge, and thankfully all the people cooperated and we could succeed. This is one of the best in the country because nowhere they have used these public buses for doing this. And because we have a planned city where big colonies, widespread areas where buses could also enter and we could plan it accordingly. That was successfully done.
Yeah, I also, because we common people, we got access to everything. Thanks to you for handling everything, and we got access to all the services and all the things which we wanted for our livelihood. So I think that was definitely, it was very, very challenging. And
Another thing I'll also like some interesting, you see, when we decided we'll give newspapers,
yeah,
some people said no, they will carry infection.
yeah,
Some people will say we'll use sanitizers, will not do it. So we went to a doctor, the PGI director said no, you can use it, there is not
Okay.
much of a danger. Then the hawkers also, we had to sanitize them, we had to train them how to carry. So all this was a big challenge.
yes, yes, yes.
But I loved it because it was interesting. We were first timers and we learnt it, but somehow it succeeded.
Yes, yes, and even that thing was also, told to me that don't buy newspapers. It will be
Yes,
very,
yes.
very risky for it. But I think because I also read in the newspapers as well that you were actually checking even all the vendors, all the vendors, vegetable sellers, and checking them, and that one was really, really nice because if you are starting from there, then eventually all the chain that will be. That will be all right, and that will all be healthy chain. That was really, really good, which I liked, and that was good. So during that time, during the lockdown, I saw one of your tweet on Twitter where you said that I am not allowing any DM because people they are asking for cakes now online to you. So these such type of DMs come to you, and what actually you responded to such people? I was so shocked. In such serious situation, they are demanding for cakes.
You see, first of all, Chandigarh is different. For ordinary fellow outside, a cake may seem a luxury. For here, it is the way of life. So that demanding, I was not baffled. You see, what happens is that they didn't have access to others. Since I was very active on Twitter and responding to every fellow who wanted to ask a question, clarifying positions, rule positions, and our decisions. So they thought here, maybe if he can ask, maybe he can help me out in getting vegetables, cakes, or whatever, special olive oil and all. You see, this is, you can't blame people. You get all sort of varieties, and the challenge is really how to meet their needs without offending them, without troubling, without disrupting the chain of essential items for which we are basically committed.
That's true. And during even on the Twitter only, I also checked that there was one picture posted by you. You were reading one book, and the name of the book was Not Just a Civil Servant. I really, really love the title, and now that book is included in my reading list because that title was very, very different. So I want to share one takeaway from that book with our viewers, which you like the most.
You see, this is written by Mr. Anil Swarup, who is a retired IAS officer. He was Secretary Education in Government of India. Finest, honest, most efficient officer, brought tremendous changes in the education system, tried to break the education schools, and private colleges racket that was there that time operating. Brilliant officer. Did a lot of work in coal also. In UP, in that book, one episode he describes when this this demolition thing was happening and how he was at that time director of PR, how I interacted with the chief minister. Basically, he focuses on that book on the ethical values of a bureaucrat. He says it is not enough to be honest. If you are honest and you don't do any work, then nothing happens. You are safe, you get your promotion, country doesn't move, economy doesn't move. He keeps on focusing that you have to be decisive as long as you are true to your conscience, as long as you follow your rules, and you don't have to curry the favor of politicians. This is a brilliant exposition of his life's episode in different circumstances where he was heading an industry corporation in UP and how he interacted. So these are episodic where they tell you every episode carries a lesson of how to interact with the politicians, how to deliver results despite the compulsions of the system, how you can maintain your cool and your conscience and your soul intact despite competing demands and pressures of people, of politicians, of the system, of the courts, It is wonderful to go through that. I suggest you read that.
Okay, definitely I will, because I was so that the title was also so different, and I definitely wanted to know that what was the takeaway, and I think you described it the best. And with those pictures also, I saw some of your pictures meditating and on Sukhnali. So I think that meditation is a part of your lifestyle now, and I want to know that how meditation has uh, helped you and transformed you professionally as well as a person, as a human.
Meditation does two things. One, it gives you capacity to look inside. You examine within. You remain unattached like water in a lotus leaf. You remain unattached. Dispassionately, you can analyze the situation. Meditation gives you that power of thinking, that much of concentration. As a result, your work efficiency increases. As so many papers, so many proposals, so many files in a day comes to your table, and you decide to dispose each case, each story will be different. Some teacher asking for a promotion, some widow saying that I want to retain the quarter more, somebody saying my father is dead, you give me a job but he's not qualified for that job, and the fellow is saying I'm voting 20 years for that job, you give me that. All these factors, this meditation gives you the power of scrutiny, coolly, dispassionately, ethically, judging things and coming to a quick rational decision. It sanitizes your mind. It takes away your worries. The drum, the worries, the paresanis of life, basically, you can brush it aside. This is time for yourself. You improve your mental sharpness, and you turn out to be as if a sage, as if a sannyasi doing his job. You then start doing your job as if work is worthy. You forget that I'm such a powerful fellow deciding things and deciding destiny of people. You decide I'm doing God's job.
Yeah.
And in that meditative mind gives you that attitude to life. You think differently. You decide judiciously, and it comes to you instantly. You don't have to really look elsewhere. Your mind will speak. It will come from within that what I'm doing is right or what I'm doing is wrong. That's the advantage.
You get to know the difference between the right and wrong.
Yes, it gives you a calm composure and equilibrium which you can't get otherwise. As you are in a state of equilibrium, balanced state, indifferent and committed, then your decision becomes absolutely perfect.
Yeah, that's true. And the best thing which I loved, you said that it sanitizes your mind. That is so good. Because we all are sanitizing our bodies, we all are sanitizing our hands, but we forget to sanitize our minds.
I'll tell you what, Sri Ravi Shankar had been to the ashram that is part of the IS course for a 1 week training. He said this is an interesting phrase. He said every day we do dental hygiene and meditation is mental hygiene.
Yeah.
He said it's a mental hygiene and therefore you must do it every day. That's what he said, and that's a good thing to happen.
Yeah, that's really nice. And people actually, even during the lockdown, a lot of people, they started to know themselves. A lot of people, they started doing meditation. They were into this. A lot of posts were also coming. I think that was a very nice phase to look within.
Yes.
Also, that was really a deep phase for all the human beings to actually look within themselves. So I just had one question, that a lot of IAS aspirants definitely look up to you. What advice would you like to give to those who want to bring change in the system and they want to bring change in the country?
You see, the IAS aspirants who meet me, look up to me, want to know how to qualify in IAS. I can only say qualifying in IAS, there is no shortcut. It is an assessment of your 20 years of studies that you have made. And UPSC is basically a very fair, transparent system. There is no shortcut to it. There is no manipulation, no groupism anywhere in there. And therefore, you will not be able to just somehow cheat the system and get it. That will not happen. Now coming to the jobs, among the job of a government IAS fellow is the best job. Because one, at a very young age, it gives you so much of power to bring in change in the life of people. And also the variety it gives. Suppose you want to teach, then you go and become a director in Masuri Academy where they teach the IAS probationers. Suppose you want to run a company, you become managing director of a public sector company and run into that field. Suppose you are a pen pusher, you want to do in the secretariat work. So go to secretariat and do the file pushing. Or suppose you want to do some social work, then you can join a NGO, take leave from IS and come back again. That system is also there. In other profession, if you are a doctor, all your life you are a doctor. You are an engineer, all your life you do the same job. In IS, this variety is possible. That is why I love this job. And I will tell them that this is one opportunity which is open to everybody. As you say, people from the lowest strata of life, some rickshaw pullers unqualified, some tea makers unqualified, people can make total transformation of their life, their society, their family by getting it. Try hard. Everybody has a chance. There is no discrimination, there is no corruption, there is no manipulation. UPSC is one such institution which is free from all this virus.